Hello, Algebra 2 Trig students. We want to go ahead and show you some calculator skills for preparing for Monday's test. So we're going to go ahead and graph this function, negative 25x squared plus 350x in our graphing calculator, and then remind ourselves what are the button pushes to find vertex x-intercepts. Now you can still use your formulas like negative b over 2a or factoring or quadratic formula to find your x-intercepts, but we want to show you those button pushes as well. Enter that function. I go to y equals, and then negative is down here by the enter. 25 x squared, or x is up here by the green alpha. You just press the x, you don't need to hit the alpha. Square it down over here by the log, and then plus 350x. Hit enter. That is now entered in there, but unfortunately our graph does not appear nicely here. So we need to adjust our window. And so what makes sense for this? This is DVDs, so we're going to kind of guess around. I'm guessing the DVD price is anywhere from $0 up to $20, and then my tick marks are by ones. And then how much revenue am I going to make from that? Again, just guessing and checking because I can adjust it if needed. My minimum revenue is $0, and then I want to make more money. So let's say I sell 100 DVDs at 20. That's going to be around $2,000. So let's go ahead and do 2,000 just to be safe. Again, y scale should be 1, not 0. And with that window, I hit graph, and it looks like my parabola fits. I could adjust that if I need to. Okay, now that we have it graphed, we want to find the vertex, which is at the maximum point. That's going to help us for increasing, decreasing, as well as for our range. So let's flip back over to the calculator and use the maximum feature to find that vertex. Find the maximum, we're going to hit second, calc. So again, this is where all of our secret menu is. And to find the maximum, it's of course going to be option 4 here. I'm going to enter. And anytime it's looking for the maximum, we see it right here. We don't know exactly what it is, but it says select something on the left. So I'll just scroll a little bit to the left, hit enter. Select something on the right, scroll over, hit enter, and then give me a good guess, and then hit enter. And it does its algorithm, and it spits it out 7, 1225. So we're going to write that on our answer, but then also interpret it. Okay, we got from our calculator that it was 7, 1225. So now the context, the X is the cost of a DVD. So when a DVD costs $7, we will make revenue. We will make $1,225 in revenue. And that's going to be key when we think about the picture that we have here, and then being able to interpret all those different pieces for that vertex. So let's move on to find the x-intercepts. We're going to be using the 0 function on our calculator next. Now we're looking for the x-intercepts. So again, we're going under that same calculate menu. So second, calculate. X-intercepts are when the function equals 0. So where the output is 0. So we're going to use this second option of 0 here. There are actually 2 x-intercepts, one on the left and one on the right. And so obviously I'm going to go all the way over here, scroll, 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 until y gets close to 0. Oh, and actually this one actually gives it to us as 0, 0. But just in case it doesn't, I'll go slightly to the left of it, hit enter. And I want to come back and be slightly to the right of it, hit enter. Scroll back left to get a guess, hit enter. And it does calculate our first x-intercept as 0, 0. Now, I'm going to go find the one on the right. So again, I'm going to hit second calculate, select 0, and I'm going to scroll all the way over to the right hand x-intercept, all the way over here. I want to be slightly to the left of it, so above it in this case. I'm going to hit enter. And I want to be slightly to the right of it. So again, I see the y changing to negative. I'll enter. And I'll scroll back and guess. And this calculates it at 14, 0. So it worked out really nicely here. And let's go back and interpret that on our homework. Okay, so we have our x-intercepts of 0, 0 and 14, 0 from the calculator. And basically what do these mean? That means the output is 0, so our revenue is 0. So when the DVD price is $0 or $14, then the revenue is $0. So again, it's either too cheap or too expensive in those situations. Next is that domain and range. So again, you might want to draw a quick sketch of your parabola. So I think within a realistic situation here, this is what we had on our graphing calculator. It went through 0, 0. It went through 14, 0. And then its maximum point here was at 7, 12, 25. And on your actual test, those numbers might be a little bit more difficult. But essentially, we can now use this to kind of help us determine domain, range, increasing and decreasing. So again, remember, domain is x values. So what x values are realistic here? So everything between here and here. So from the left to the right. So let me undo that. So again, if in green down here, everything from the left to the right. So 0 to 14 is going to be our domain in red there, 0 to 14. And then our range is, of course, the y values. So if I'm thinking about going, say, up and down, what's the minimum revenue is 0, the maximum revenue is 1225. So I can go ahead and say, okay, my range is going to be from 0 to 1225. So notice our vertex played into a role there. And then for increasing and decreasing, similarly, I am increasing on this left half, right? And again, both of these are x values from the domain. And then I'm decreasing in yellow here on the right. So again, I'm going to get split up by that vertex point. So I'm split up here because obviously I've got that symmetry. It's increasing on the left, which is everything from 0 to 7. Sorry, there it should be just parentheses, not brackets. Everything from 0 to 7, it's increasing along this part. It's decreasing along this part, so that's from 7 to 14. Okay, 7 to 14. Also, can they generate $1,300 in revenue? No, that is above the max. It is above the vertex. It is above the maximum. So there's never a scenario where our model predicts that they can generate $1,300 in revenue. And we're going to go back to the calculator here for what x values will make 825, because essentially what we're going to be looking for here, I'll put it in blue, we're going to graph the line y equals 825 and see where it intersects. There are two x values where they intersect for that particular revenue. So for a revenue of 825, let's go back to our calculator and see where that intersects. We want to find where our x values create a revenue of 825. So we're going to go back to y equals, and we're going to enter that horizontal line at 825. The previous question asked about 1300, which we know would be way above it. But in this case, when I graph y equals 825, that revenue is possible at two different DVD prices. And so how can we find where those two things intersect? We go back to our second calculate menu, and we look at the intersect. And it asked me for the first curve. So I'm just going to scroll over here close by. Notice I'm on the parabola, so yes, I want to intersect the parabola. And then the second curve, it asked me, oh, yep, the straight line. And then where's my guess? Well, since I want this one on the left, I've got to move my spider over there and hit enter for the guess. The intersection is at 3, 825. And I'm going to write that down on my paper. And then I'm going to find the other intersection by going second calc again. Intersect, enter, go over here, 3, and again on the right hand side, going to do first curve, second curve, guess, and then again intersection 11, 825. So those are the two DVD prices that result in $825 of revenue. Oh, okay, we're back. Again, for what x values will they make 825? You could either write the 2 points like this, or simply write x equals $3, because that's the DVD price, or x equals $11. That will create that revenue. And then finally, if they set their admission price at $6, so again, x is equal to 6. I guess this should have been DVD price. Looking at it. When we look at that, we say, okay, I got to plug in 6 to that original. So if r of x equals negative 25 x squared plus 350x, I got to go ahead and plug that in. R of 6, negative 25 times 6 squared plus 350 times 6. Using your calculator, negative 25 times 36 plus the 350 times the 6. We get 350 times 6, 2,100. And then the 25 times 36, that is negative 900 plus 2,100. That gives me $1,200. So they earn $1,200 if they set the DVD price at 6. So hopefully that was a good chance to see some different calculator skills in preparation for Monday. Take care.